good morning everyone. Mic check.
Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Aidilfitri, Syawal mulia. Hari Raya disambut dengan gembira. Hari Raya ceriakan suasana. Kosong-kosong sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari Raya.
Bunga api warnai malam mengukir sejuta senyuman.
Senyuman, buih-buih ketupat dan rendang membuka selera semua. Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Aidilfitri, Syawal mulia. Hari Raya disambut dengan gembira. Hari Raya ceriakan suasana. Kosong-kosong sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari Raya.
Berikan masa istimewa.
Saling maaf, hilangkan duka.
Eratkan jalinan saudara.
Lebaran kan lebih bermakna. Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Aidilfitri, Syawal mulia. Hari Raya disambut dengan gembira. Hari Raya ceriakan suasana. Kosong-kosong sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari Raya. Hari disambut dengan gembira. Hari Raya ceriakan suasana. Kosong-kosong sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya. Kini tiba hari bahagia yang dinanti semua. Dalam
Hello. Hi, good morning everyone. Hi, hello. Hi everyone. Hello, good morning. I know, are you already wake up? How is you feeling? How is your Saturday morning going on? Are you still sleepy? I wish happy 5th Ramadan for all the Muslim. So usually I think what we always do after sahur, we always go back to sleep. So I really applaud for those who actually wake up and join us today for this very beneficial health talk and also cooking demonstration by me and also my guest star for today, Dr. Daniel. Okay, so everyone, can you just please say hi in the comment sections? I just want to know how many of you are up and active now. So we have 27 viewers right now. So keep it coming, guys. Share this Facebook link to your Facebook page, your Facebook walls. Let people know that we are having a live session with Dr. Daniel, our clinical nutritionist. And also we're going to share some tips and also recipes for berbuka and sahur. Okay, so keep it coming. Okay, hi. Alice says hi. Casey say hi. Hazra say morning, Ace. Jamie say good morning. Okay, so keep it coming, guys. Keep your comments and I will actually read your comments from time to time. And if you have any questions, you just can post your questions here, and I will read it for our panel today lah. Okay. If you have any nutrition questions that you're actually eager to ask to our Dr. Daniel here, so we will actually answer it for you personally. Okay. All right. So without further ado, okay. So my name is Iki, okay, and I think most of you guys already seen me for a few times during the theater sessions, and then some sharing sessions, and also probably in some of the social media posts, okay, in Facebook and Instagram of Ace Power Group. Okay, but today we have another guest star, okay, which is actually my best friend since I was high school. So we actually met since we were 16 years old, Form 4, okay, in Gopeng. So he's still my best friend until now, and it just so happy of how successful he is right now. So a little background about my best friend here, Dr. Daniel. Okay, so he actually graduated from RMIT, Australia, in nutrition, and then he actually further his studies in master degree in medicine, and also he has PhD and also postdoc in public health. So he is the right person, okay, to talk on nutrition and also disease. For example, diabetes. If you have some problem with diabetes or weight management, so he is the best person in the house, y'all. So come and have your questions in our chat box so that we can actually share with you. Okay. So and he also now a director of one of the green investor company called Adiante. He also clinical nutrition with Supagenis, the first personalized nutrition in Malaysia, and he also actively contributes in NGOs bodies such as Global Shapers, UNESCO, and World Economic Forum. So he is very, very, very somebody, and I am very, very proud to be his best friend. So without any further ado, so I think I will let we were gonna start our actually talk lah. Okay. Alright. Okay. Daniel, boleh try mic? Okay kita?
Hello.
Say hi. Say hi to our viewers.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Oh yeah. Okay. Before I'm actually forgetting. Big round of applause for our sponsor. Okay, 100 Plus Malaysia for sponsoring our 100 Plus during berbuka puasa nanti. Don't drink now. Okay, for those Muslim, sabar dulu. Okay, nanti buka puasa can actually minum. Okay. Oh, alright. Sorry. So, okay. Without further ado, so let's actually kickstart our event today lah. Okay. So Daniel. Okay. So, what, in your opinion, what is the benefits of fasting for the whole month?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for the generous introduction. Okay. So I've been having a lot of questions. Like a lot of people ask me what is actually the benefit of Ramadan fasting as compared to intermittent fasting and so on, right? So for Ramadan fasting, generally the most important thing is actually how it reconnects ourselves to our faith, right? There's a religious reason to it, but then it also like have a lot of other health and scientific, underpinnings to it. So one of it is actually we want to promote blood sugar control for people with high blood sugar, and also with diabetes, and also for people who is slightly overweight. Then this is a great month to actually lose weight. And also, we can actually promote overall health and well-being because fasting actually reduces our inflammation. So a lot of people ask me, what is inflammation, right? So inflammation, just imagine yourself got bitten by a mosquito and then you develop like a red bumps on your skin. That's inflammation. Now imagine that inside your body. So that's what we call inflammation. So inflammation is actually the underlying of a lot of chronic disease. So it's actually, one of the main reasons why we develop a lot of chronic diseases. So by actually fasting, we can reduce this sort of phenomenon that happen inside our body. And then we're doing it for 30 days. So
Mm.
it's literally resetting our body. So generally, that's the three main things that fasting brings to us. Other than that, we also seen studies saying that it actually gives anti-aging effects, and
Mm.
also in making our heart stronger. And finally, there's a lot of study going on how it can prevent cancer and also assist in chemotherapy. So let's keep that for the later part of the talk.
Oh wow! I mean, like, if you actually like list down all the benefits, what Dr. Daniel just mentioned is just like so bizarre.
Yeah.
How we just fasting, stop eating for quite some time,
Yeah.
can actually improve your health tremendously.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it was like such a miracle. So and we've been doing this since we were born,
Yeah, we
right?
were
So it's
born,
actually
yeah.
like it's something that norms for us, especially Muslim lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if that's the case, right? Fasting gives you so much benefits and stuff like that. So what's the difference between like fasting for the whole day? I mean, during the Ramadan, and also like intermittent fasting, IF, who actually I think get a lot attention
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are really into intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your take on that? What are the difference between intermittent and also fasting for the whole day?
In terms of benefit, it's actually similar. But then the main differences between intermittent fasting, Ramadan fasting, and we have a lot of other type of fasting. We have water fasting, where people just drink water and they don't eat food at all. And we also have 1 meal a day fasting, where they just only eat 1 meal a day, or 1 meal every 2 days or something like that. So it actually promotes, how to say, a starvation mode inside our
Mm-hmm.
body. So when our body enters that mode, we actually try to repair and recover more effectively as compared to when we have a lot of calories inside our system. So the differences is just the window. For Ramadan fasting is 8 to 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the region of where you are, where you actually don't eat anything. But then for intermittent fasting, some people do it 420, 4 hours eating, 20 hours fasting.
Mm-hmm.
But the most common one, 8-16, where 16 hours fasting and 8 hours, 16 hours, 16 hours fasting and 6 hours of regular eating.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually promotes the same thing. But the main benefit of this routine is that it actually resets your insulin. So insulin is one of the hormone that's very beneficial for our blood sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and once it resets, so it actually increases the efficiency of this insulin. So having too much sugar inside our blood is not good, and
Mm-hmm.
it leads to many other problems.
Yes.
But then fasting can help you to doing that. Yeah.
Ah, I see. So basically, the main difference is when is your fasting and how
Yes,
long it's
exactly.
actually take fasting.
Mhm.
For example, intermittent, they're gonna fast from for example 6 p.m.
Mhm.
until like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
After that, so actually like the time is the difference,
Yeah.
but the hours are quite the same.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay, that's
Mhm.
good. So okay, most people actually like have this stereotype or a mindset that, oh, if you fast you will actually lose weight. Okay,
Okay.
so do we actually can lose weight during Ramadan?
Yeah, that's actually a trick question. Some people really does lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the first 2 weeks of Ramadan, because that's where we start to fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we approach Raya, we start to have more food during our buka puasa, and then we bake cookies and everything. So we end up eating in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever weight loss is cancelled. But then truthfully, if you fast and then you stay passive, that means you don't exercise, you just, like become dormant and everything, you tend to lose water weight. So you
Ah.
don't lose fat. You
Mhm.
actually lose water weight because your metabolism is slowly going down. It's adapting to the starvation mode that you're having and so on. So if you want to actually lose weight, first of all, what you need to do is never skip your sahur,
Mhm.
because you need to actually kick off your metabolism.
Mhm.
And then after that, you actually need to exercise, or there's a term called NEAT. it's it's a non-exercise thermogenesis, in which that we're walking, and then that's the 10,000 steps that we do every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then after that, we need to do a little bit of cardio before we break fast. So
Before. Okay.
fasted cardio. So that's where we actually do a lot of, um, where we actually lose a lot of fat mass and fat percentage. And losing fat is beneficial in weight loss as compared to losing water. Losing water is just the kilogram change, but losing fat, when you see all the, your blood sugar improve, your cholesterol level improve, and so on. And finally, the most important part is to recover, which is to sleep at night. So sleep early and wake up early, where you can, do your tahajjud and everything. But then you really need to end the day early and then wake up early to
Oh,
be energetic the next day.
I see. So like that is how we actually lose weight. Okay. So like because like, I think a lot of people, okay, even though because like the starvation during the day actually make them want to eat or overeat during the berbuka, right? So like for your advice lah, consultations can. So what are like the basic proportion, okay, of food intake during berbuka? Because I still remember that you told me before that you cannot eat too less or eat too much during berbuka.
Yeah.
So probably some people, okay lah, I just want to eat like very very little food, or I just want to drink and then have like macam date sahaja, and I don't want to eat anymore because they really want to lose weight, kan? But that's probably means like less eating, right? So what is your advice on like how much your food intake during the berbuka?
I think the younger nutritionist in me said that eat too less or eat too much. That one. But I would say at this point, the most important part is to eat slowly. So a lot of people, they eat too fast when they buka puasa, or they eat too fast when they sahur because they wake up late. But then when you eat slowly, you actually enjoy the food, and you actually give time for your body to process it as you're eating it. So you actually, it is a subconscious thing that you will eat lesser when you enjoy the food, as compared to, when you eat too fast and then you just want to eat more. Yeah. So that's something that the quickest advice that I can give to you. And don't forget your water. Please don't forget your water.
And 100 plus.
Yeah.
So because like 100 plus, for example, when we talk about water, right? It's really important for you to hydrate yourself after a long day of starvation.
Yeah.
Okay. So for your advice out there, is like carbonated drinks or isotonic drinks like 100 plus itself, is it really good for actually breakfasting, or can we actually like take this like every day? What is your opinion on that?
So isotonic drinks basically has salt inside it, so it actually retains water longer inside your system. To say that it's good compared to plain water, it's not correct, because usually isotonic drink contains sugar in it. Yeah. So but this 100 has reduced sugar.
Reduced sugar,
Yeah.
only 4 grams.
So but I would say you can take it in moderate consumption, but your primary liquid has to still be plain water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you actually replenish your kidney and make your entire digestive system refresh. Yeah.
I see. So remember to drink your water, guys. So you don't just stuff yourself with food, but drink water as well.
Yeah.
So how much like water every day you actually like suggest for them during the Ramadan?
During Ramadan, it depends on people. For people who has diabetes and so on, listen to your physician. But for normal people, for healthy people, 2 liters of water a day is something that you needed. So that's something that you can actually distribute according to glasses. So for me, it's like 2 glasses before sahur, 2 glasses after sahur, and then 2 glasses before when I
After
buka
buka.
puasa, and then after berbuka, and then the remaining is before I go to sleep. So that's actually very important, because if you don't hydrate yourself, the next day you're gonna wake up tired. And our topic today is to fast and vitalize, right? So you don't want to be dehydrated and become tired the next day.
Yeah,
That's one
true.
of the key things to do to become more vitalized than the next day.
True. So like when we talk about fasting as well vitalize, right? So it's also related to like your exercise. So like you said that even you're fasting, you cannot just skip your gym session,
Exactly.
cannot skip your exercise sessions because I think for me myself, I use Ramadan as excuses for not continue my exercise during the Ramadan. Okay, I was like, okay, like I've already starved myself. I stopped eating, so I don't think that I should go to exercise anymore. Okay, so for you yourself, you said that okay, we do it like apa tu? Fasting cardio tadi kan? So macam what are the exercise or macam when is the best time for weightlifting? When is the best time for the cardio? And how long we should spend during the exercise?
Okay, so not just you. A lot of people use fasting as an excuse to skip their gym. So it's not something as like shocking. But I would say that just imagine when you actually be inside a car and then you put in the keys and then you start the engine. The car wouldn't move until you push the like the engine pedal and then it moves, right? So that's how fasting works. So when you start fasting, you actually start the car engine, but then you need to push the pedal. So how do you push the pedal? Is to exercise, and then I would say to do a fasted cardio, something like brisk walking, running, swimming, and 2 hours before buka puasa is something very beneficial.
2 hours.
But then if you want to do weight training, strength training, and everything, it shouldn't be during your fasting state because you couldn't do a lot when you were fasting. Your body is in starvation mode and you couldn't lift a lot of weight. So you should do that after your berbuka puasa.
After berbuka.
Yeah. So and then you feel more energetic and so on. So my key intake is that to keep your cardio before your berbuka and then keep your strength training after your berbuka.
Oh, all right. Okay, nice. Okay, so now you know when you should exercise during Ramadan. Okay, don't make excuses like me. Okay, so okay, I think for those who are actually viewing us right now live in Facebook, okay, because if you do have any question, just put it in our chat box so that I can read it for you, and we can actually Dr. Daniel can actually address the questions directly. Okay, and then okay, one of the always excuses, I don't know excuses ke ataupun macam real reason. Okay, for example, people said, oh, I cannot do fasting because I have gastric problem. Because if I actually stop eating for a few hours, I will start have gastric. So for you, Daniel, Dr. Daniel, right? So what is your advice for those who are actually having these gastric problems during Ramadan?
Okay, so the first thing first, it depends on the severity of your gastric. If your gastric is very severe, then visit your physician, ask for their advice. Generally, if you're having gastric problem or if you experience gastric problem before, what you need to do is to reduce your meat intake and then also reduce your dairy intake and increase your fruit intakes. So that's where your gastric lining is will become better and will be ready for the next fasting day. Diet that high in protein and plant-based diet has shown to be more protective towards gastric. So that's something that you can actually try. Another thing is that gastric also occurs when people don't drink enough water, when the blood becomes a little bit acidic and a little bit thick. Another thing is that when you don't sleep enough. Okay. When you don't sleep enough, you literally have the higher risk of getting gastric. So why you don't sleep enough? It may be because of stress. It may be because you play phone before you sleep. Maybe because you're watching that Netflix or YouTube before you sleep and so on. So, but then just remember that it has a long-term side effect if you keep on doing that.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. So basically, you still have to manage your activities lah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So normal activities like that can actually reduce gastric occurrence lah. Okay. So okay, talking about having right food before sahur, right? For sahur and a buka that actually can help for gastric. So today we actually have some cooking demonstrations, okay, for you guys, which is we actually will do 2 simple recipes of sahur, okay, and also for buka. So these two recipes will be conducted by me. Okay. So because I do love cooking, but I'm not really good at it. So please be patient with me. But what good it is these recipes has been approved by Dr. Daniel himself. So
Okay.
it should be
Should
really
be
really
healthy.
healthy. Okay, really healthy for yourself, but still will satisfy your sweet craving. Okay.
Okay. So
All right. So what we have here today. So I think what we actually told you guys beforehand that we actually going to do two recipes, okay? Which is the first one is overnight oat, a very simple overnight oat, really, really good, and then really helps you to actually to last
yeah.
for the whole day during Ramadan. Okay, so for overnight oat, what is your advice or what are the food that we can actually add on in our overnight oat?
So overnight oat is something that we call complex carbohydrate. So we want to have that during our sahur so that we feel full longer. So but overnight oat by itself is just not complete. So oat has high protein and calcium, but you also need other nutrition as well. So you can actually add some nuts, some fruits, dried fruits. I would prefer something fresh fruits like mangoes, strawberries,
Ah, I see.
and then we also can do more tropical fruits like nangka,
Wow.
jackfruit, and so
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
That actually gives you, more longer full effect. Yeah.
Mm.
So and it's actually very good because when you have all this calorie in the morning when you start your day,
Mhm.
that actually makes your body ready to, for the day as compared
Ah,
to at night.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. So and then I do heard that if you're having like overnight oat, it's much better than you just like have like instant oat. Is it true? Like for example, like if I do it
Mm-hmm.
overnight and compared to that I do it on that instant.
Instantly.
Yeah, is it much
Uh,
better or is it have any difference?
Um, scientifically, I don't think so because it's still the same thing. But then, there's also a reason when you do overnight oat, you don't actually heat the oat, so you preserve the nutrient better. When you do instant oat, you actually heat the oat, and there's more possibly there's some nutrient loss there. But oat generally is high in soluble fiber, so
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you want to wake up from the oat.
Ah, I see. Okay, all right. So let's start with our first recipe, which is overnight oat. Okay. So what we have here is rolled oats. So I use organic rolled oats. Okay. So this is depends on how much you want to actually to intake on during sahur. If you think that you actually can actually need a very heavy intake, so you can actually put a lot of it, or if you just want like something like
I think we should correct on that because moderation is key.
moderations,
Yeah. So
moderations.
too much of good things can be harmful too. Okay.
Okay,
So okay, for
that's
oats,
good to hear.
I think the best is tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
Three
Okay,
tablespoon of oats is enough for
enough.
you.
Mhm.
And then try to add more from other things
I
because oats
see.
is generally carbohydrates. And it
Mm.
has high fiber and so on, but then not too much of it. Yeah.
Ah.
So try to explore more food other than carbohydrates.
That's
Okay.
good. All right. That's good to hear. Okay. So and then we have nuts. Okay.
Mhm.
Mixed nuts. You can have your own choice of nuts.
Mhm.
Can have macadamia. You can have almonds, walnuts, pine nuts, whatever nuts that you actually like. Okay. Right. And then we have yogurts. Okay.
Mhm.
If you like yogurts will have flavors, you can do it. But
Mhm.
if you like it plain, you can also have it. Okay.
Mhm.
And we have dry fruits. Okay. Which is we have dried cranberries, dried blueberries. We have dates,
Mhm.
and also we have some chocolate chips as well. Okay, for the flavor, and for the sweetening. Okay, for the sweetness, you
Mhm.
can actually have honey, or you can have maple syrup.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all the basic ingredients, but you can also add on
Yeah.
to your
To your own liking, yeah.
preference, right? Okay.
So I think the reason why we do it sweet because sweet is something that we usually eat during Ramadan. So we have a lot of kueh and everything, right, during Ramadan. So that's why these two recipe is something that is sweet as compared to savory. But oats can be used multiple ways. Some people use oats for savory things as well. So that's why. Mhm. You want?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, what we're going to do, like Dr. Daniel suggests, 3 tablespoons of oats. Okay. So I use organic rolled oats. Okay. So it all depends on you. Okay, which kind of oat that you want. It doesn't have to be necessarily organic. Okay. And then 3 tablespoons of oat, and then you actually put half cups of milk. So you can use skim milk, better.
Soy
Soy
milk,
milk, and then oat milk.
oat milk.
So
Yeah.
what we're actually doing, what we have here is actually almond milk. So
Yeah.
it's actually much better than ordinary milk or
Mm.
full cream milk. But it's all depends on you. If you don't like the taste, you can always just go with your normal milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just until the
I think half of the jar is enough. Yeah.
half of the jar. Yeah. Okay. So half of the jar. All right. And then we have dried fruits. Okay. So like I said, you can actually add on any of the fruits that you want. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So for during Ramadan, you can always have these dried dates. Okay. So just put some inside because these dried dates
Mhm.
are already sweet. So probably we don't need much more sweeten after this. Yeah. So I put dried blueberries as well, dried cranberries.
Yeah.
Okay. And also a little bit of chocolate chips. Okay,
Yeah.
dark chocolate chips. Okay.
Dark chocolate chips.
Dark chocolate chips. Yeah. And then we have nuts. Okay. So what I have here, I have cashew nuts, almonds, and also walnuts. So you just put it just to give the crunch. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if you don't like to soak it, you can actually add on later when you
Yes.
actually want to eat it
Yeah.
later. Okay, you can actually add it later. And then you have this maple syrup. Okay, for
No, that's honey, right?
no, it is maple
Oh,
syrup.
okay.
To actually to add on some sweetener. So I put half of tablespoon. I think that's enough because we have dates and stuff. And then last but not least, you can actually store it. Okay, just close the lid, and then you can store it overnight. Okay, before you wake up for the sahur. For example, you wake up for sahur like 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. So you can actually do it like 10 p.m. during the night before you go to sleep. So you have the enough time to actually soak all
Yeah.
the nutrition. Okay, and before you eat it, you can actually add on some yogurt.
Yeah.
Because if you add the yogurt earlier, so it actually going to affect the smell of it. So if you don't mind the smell, you can just put it during the night. Okay. If you actually don't really like smell, you can actually add the yogurt when you actually want to eat
Yeah.
the oats lah. Okay. So
Generally, because yogurt has the bacteria in it, so if you put it inside milk, so you will, somehow fermented the milk. So that's why you add it the next day. Another thing is that oat by itself is not tasty. So it may be, I mean, for my personal opinion, I feel like oat by itself tasted like vomit. So that's why it's very important to add all of this stuff just to increase, your appetite to it. And then food texture, food taste, and everything. The your satisfaction when you eat actually affects how long you will last after you eat. If you eat healthy food and then you don't feel full, you don't feel happy, the next the next 1 hour you'll be like, oh, I probably need something else.
Yeah,
So
true,
that's why try to make your healthy food fun,
Enjoyable.
enjoyable
for you. Okay, so I actually have one jar that I've actually made it last night.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so all right, so we probably like wonder how it's gonna look like. Sorry. Okay. All right. So this is how it's gonna look like. Okay, it's thickened up. Okay, because like we already do it overnight. Okay, so I
yeah.
did it like before I went to bed yesterday. So this is how it looked like. Okay, it seems a bit gooey, sluggish,
Mhm.
but I'll actually tell you it will actually taste really, really good. So before you actually eat it, you can actually stir it. Okay, to actually to combine all the ingredients
Mhm.
and the flavors, the sweetness, okay? And then you can actually top off with nuts, okay? If you actually like the
Yes.
crunchy
Yeah.
during your eating, okay? So if you actually can, if you really like lazy to chew, I always blend it
Yeah.
and then drink it.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
can do
also
that.
an option,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
So it tastes like smoothie, I would say. It tastes like smoothie, and it's actually go down a bit faster than you just chew it. Okay, so it's really really good. I've tried it before. So do we have like any audience, live audience, want to taste it?
I,
No, Daniel.
I'm
Daniel is a Muslim.
fasting.
He's fasting.
I can.
So do we have any okay live audience? So we call Vincent to try and taste our overnight oat.
This is
Okay.
very challenging to have a cooking show at 9 a.m. when you're fasting.
Yeah. So we have our taster for today. So we don't bribe him. So we want to just to say like his personal preference. Okay. So can you try this our overnight oat that we actually did yesterday? Okay.
The taste is very good.
Okay.
It's not too sweet.
Uh-huh.
I think this one I can finish by myself.
Oh, all right. So this is actually a true testimony. Yeah? I don't actually pay it.
Yeah, it's good. It's for healthier choice for the breakfast. Yes.
So do you think you can actually feel full, kenyang after you eat this?
Yeah, I has been trying most of the time. So every day also I make my own overnight oat.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, but today I know that your recipe, so I will follow your recipe for.
Oh,
for coming.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Alright. Thank you, Vincent. All right, so that's actually for our first recipe. Okay, so moving on to our second recipe for bubuka. Okay, so we have today is gluten-free banana brownies. Okay,
Brownies,
it's
yeah.
really good. Okay, so what we have here is 2 cups of
Almond.
gluten-free gluten-free
Yeah.
all-purpose flour. Okay, so you can actually get this from your grocery stores. Okay, and then I have 3 large bananas ripened, and I mash bananas. So this is about 1.5 cups. Okay, 1.5 cups.
Yes.
And then we have butter. So if you vegan, you can actually use vegan butter. Okay, and then we have like half cups of chocolate chips. Okay, dark chocolate chips. If you have vegan options, you can always go for vegan chocolate chips.
Definitely.
And then we have half cups of cacao powder, and then we have 1 eggs. Okay, 1 eggs, 1 whole eggs. Yeah. So this is actually a really, really simple recipe. You don't need a mixer. You don't need a whisker. You can just have a spatula and a bowl, and you're good to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are a vegan, you can always switch these eggs into
Chia
flaxseed
seed. Chia
eggs
seed.
and also chia seed
Yeah.
eggs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, so I'm actually gonna start our brownies. Okay. First thing first, what you're gonna have to do is you have to preheat your oven first. Okay. So you have set it to 177 degrees Celsius. Okay. And you just preheat. Okay. Preheat before you actually start your cooking. Okay. So can I ask somebody to actually to help me to melt the butter? Okay. So first thing first, you have to melt the butter. Okay. Okay. So while we're actually waiting for the butter, okay, what we can actually do is to combine all the dried ingredients. Okay. So what we have here, like 2 cups of gluten-free flour. So okay, Daniel, what is the benefits of gluten-free flours compared to other flours lah before?
So I think basically gluten-free flour is just a more refined flour where gluten is no longer there inside flour. So gluten is something that makes carbohydrate, like how to say, cakes become plumpier and so
Mm.
on.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of studies saying that some of humans cannot actually stand gluten inside their system. But there's also a lot of genetic studies says that Asian people, however, can stand gluten very, very well. So, but then these studies are not conclusive. So I would say that if you have an option that has anti-inflammatory purposes like
Mhm.
gluten-free,
Mhm.
maybe go for it. If not, a normal flour is okay
It's
as well.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then
Mhm.
we have this flour, okay, and then we have half teaspoons of salt and also half teaspoon of baking powder,
Yeah.
okay. So we just mix them, okay. So this is really simple and healthy brownies recipe, yeah? Approved by Dr. Daniel. Okay, so and then we actually add our cacao powder, half cup of cacao powder, okay. Just mix it, okay. Like I said, it's really simple. Okay, you can actually do it with your kids. Okay, if you want to like encourage the engagement with your kids. Okay, while you're actually having the berbuka, and this actually can actually helps your kid to be more eager or to looking forward for berbuka and berpuasa. Okay, and then okay, after you have actually mixed all the dried ingredients, okay, you can actually mix the butter, the melted butter, okay, half cup of melted butter. So if you have vegan, so you can actually use vegan butter as well, okay. So mix it up, okay, and then I use 1.5 cups of ripened bananas. So why we actually use ripened bananas is because we don't use any sugar for this recipe. So we don't have any sugars. So it is really important for you to choose a very ripe banana because it's actually much better options. Why? Why Daniel? Banana is better option.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
hello? Yeah. If you want to eat the best banana is actually the ripe one, not the most ripened one, because that's where all the nutrients is there. So the more darker spots it has, the lesser the nutrients. The lesser the nutrients it contains. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now.
Mm.
So and then take one. Okay. So probably Daniel can actually mix it for me. So we're gonna involve Dr. Daniel. Okay. Put it into some work.
In school, I hate cooking, right?
Yeah, but that's why it's really good because it's so simple. Okay, for those who actually don't really like cooking or don't really have the talent for cooking, for example, you can actually do this. Okay, at homes with your friends and families, and enjoy the brownies itself after the buka. Okay, so you're gonna mix it. Okay, so if you think the mixture is a bit dry, what you can do is you can always add the bananas. Okay, to actually to add the liquid, and also you can also add the eggs as well. Okay, because some banana a bit dry because it's not ripened enough. Okay, so that's why it's actually gonna uh, influence the textures of the batter. So I think the banana is a bit dry. So we're gonna add one more eggs. Okay, one more eggs. Okay, so don't worry if your batter seems a bit clumpy. It is what it is because it's a gluten-free and we don't use any much butter in it. Okay, so that's
Sugar.
why it's actually a bit clumpy, I would say. All right. So while waiting for that, so do you have any questions at home? So I'm gonna check our Facebook. So if we do have questions for our Dr. Daniel today. Okay, so Frida asked, the butter 1 cup or half cup? It's actually half cups of butter, yeah, Frida. Shasha asked us, Doctor, what is your suggestion on what to have during sahur to make sure energized the whole day before iftar?
Okay, I can talk, right? This mic is working. So, basically, one thing that you really need during sahur is first thing first is to properly hydrate it yourself. So once you
Okay, let me
wake
stop.
up, you actually need to. You want to mix it? Okay. You actually drink water first, and then after that you can actually have a high protein and high fiber sahur meal. So something like the overnight oats is something that is high fiber, and it's very good to actually make you become more energetic and last longer throughout the day. And you can have more protein, let's say if you're eating meat, but try to avoid red meat. White meat like chicken, fish, eggs are very good. I would also recommend plant-based alternative protein, something like soybean, tempeh, and all these other beans, and also flaxseed, oats, which has a lot of protein to be inside your sahur. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's actually answer your question, Shasha. Okay, thank you for your question. So do you have any other questions? Alice said, I always add yogurt the night before. I shall try this new recipe. Thank you, Alice. So Serene said also she also do it the same thing. Okay. And okay, all right. So after we actually mix all our ingredients, our batter. So last but not least, what we can do is to add the
Chocolate
the
chip.
sins, okay, okay, the pleasure in it. Okay, so we actually add the chocolate chips, okay, inside your batter. Half cups of chocolate chips. It can be your preference, okay. So I use the dark chocolate chip because I like the taste of it and it's not too sweet for my liking. So we just add on these chocolate chips, okay. Or you can actually also put it on top of the brownies later. When you want to actually bake the brownies, you can actually put the chocolate chips on top of the brownies. Yeah. Okay. So we have this what we call
Baking tray.
baking tray. Baking tray because like I always say dulang kan. So macam dulang in Malaysia. Okay, okay. So in English we call baking tray. So I already glaze with butter and also put a baking paper on top of it. Okay, to actually to avoid from it to be sticking on the baking tray lah. Okay, so we're gonna put it the batter inside.
Okay.
So don't worry if your brownie seems a bit clumpy, it is what it is. Okay. The first time I actually tried this recipe, I also quite worried, but it is what it is. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Another option compared to chocolate chip is also raisins.
Mm.
But your kids will hate you if you put raisins inside
Yes.
because it's not as nice as chocolate chip.
Uh-huh. So
But,
this is
yeah.
really I think it's up to your preference lah. Okay, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna add on your brownies, as long as the basics are there. Okay, the toppings and the other extra things is actually up to you. Okay.
Actually, not really using spatula.
But it's good that Daniel actually made a disclaimer that he is not really a cook. So if we actually see him a bit struggling, so we actually understand that. Okay, so you just spread the batter all over the baking tray. Okay.
Okay. I think we can do it, right?
All right. Okay. So we just spread the batter. Okay. Make sure you actually spread it nice and evenly. Okay. And like I said, you can actually top it with raspberries. You can top it with bananas. You can top it with chocolate chips. Whatever tops that you actually like. Okay. So once you have done, okay, this, and then you can actually put inside the oven. Okay. So be very careful. It's quite hot. Okay. All right. So you put it in the oven of 176 degrees Celsius for 28 minutes to 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just put inside. And oh,
Are you okay?
yeah. Okay. And you just leave it for 28 to 30 minutes until you can actually smell your house filled with the brownies smell, delicious brownie smell, then you know it's actually ready. So another tips, if you want to know if the brownies are ready or not, you can actually test the brownies using
Toothpick.
a toothpick.
Yeah.
Yes, a toothpick. If you don't have any toothpick, you have chopstick in your house. You can also use the chopsticks as well. So when you insert the chopstick inside the cake later, the brownies, and you pull the chopstick out, if they don't have any crumbs in it, it came out clean, then you know your brownies are already cooked and ready to be taken out from the oven. Okay, but with brownies, right? Okay, since it's really fudgy, okay, what you can actually do is that you have to wait until it's room temperature, cool down until room temperature, and then you can actually cut it out. Okay, so we actually made brownies beforehand to show you what is the product of the brownies. Okay.
I don't know if it's me fasting, but the butter looks sedap.
All right. So this is the batter that I actually made last night. Okay, beforehand. Okay, just want to see to show you guys how it actually going to look like. Okay, so you take out the parchment paper. Okay, or the baking paper. Okay, so you can see the brownies have like, it's not really rising. Okay, that is because we're actually using the gluten-free flour. Okay, because of we don't use the normal flour, so the batter won't actually rise up like the usual you expect from it. Okay, so after you cool down, okay, so you can see my brownies, right? Okay, so you
And
can
another
actually
thing is because there's no sugar in it.
there's no sugar in
Yeah,
it.
so that's why it's not lumpy.
Yes, true. Okay. So that's why. So you don't have to worry, alamak, is my brownies betul ke tak betul ni kan? Salah ke tak salah. So as long it came out nicely, so I think that's actually a good sign of your brownies is done and it's ready to eat. Okay, so you can actually cut your brownies into 9. Okay, so I use this 8-inch tray. So you can actually cut it into 4. Okay. Then alright. Okay. So kita akan minta wakil lagi untuk rasa
Should we move a
This,
little bit here? Oh no, it's done.
gluten-free brownies. Okay. So we call upon Vincent again for our taster for today.
Yeah, I think we move this one.
Okay, so this is the brownies. Okay, I can show it to the camera. Okay, okay,
There's that one.
yeah. So it's really fudgy. I would say it's not that dry. It's moist and it's really chocolatey. Okay, and the best part of it, it's healthy. Okay, so Vincent, don't expect it to be like super delicious because it's healthy, but
Healthy can be delicious too.
but yes, healthy can be delicious too. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So Vincent, please do the honor.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Is it?
Yes, because I think the brownie is too very soft, and then not too sweet. Yeah, because more of the time then we have bought this brownie outside, the brownie very sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So, do you like the taste of the bananas? How was it?
Yeah, it's a special because most of the time we have bought the brownie outside is like chocolate taste,
Yeah.
but this brownie come with banana, so yeah, it's a quite special.
Okay, so if you have like a craving, right? Craving for chocolate, craving for sweets. So, do you think these gluten-free, healthy banana brownies can actually help you with your cravings?
Yes, definitely yes.
That is actually our testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you. So you can actually try these two simple yet delicious recipe at your home. Okay, so Daniel, do you have any more intakes or any other
Oh.
advice for our viewers?
So you said I endorse this recipe, right? So I have to put disclaimer. Even though this is healthy, that doesn't actually give you the chance of eating the entire tray yourself. So moderation is key. Probably have a couple of bits and then that's enough. But then the sweetness of this brownie is dependent on the banana that you choose. So yeah, try to taste it a little bit before you use it.
Okay.
Inside your batter.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. So if you actually do it after your berbuka, so you can actually taste the batter first before you put inside the oven. So if the batter doesn't really taste to your liking, the less sweets, or you want it to be more sweeter, you can always add more bananas or add more a bit of sugar in the brownies itself.
In the brownies
Yes.
itself,
Okay.
yeah,
So lastly, I will actually check the the comment section if we have any other comments or questions for Dr. Daniel today. Okay. So yeah. Okay, Vincent review like Gordon Ramsay, Jerry said. And then I'm coming over to collect now. Wow. Come, and please do come. So because we have a lot, Eva says tempting. Okay, so make sure you actually try this simple recipe at home. Okay, and I'm sure you're gonna love this. Okay. Thank you, Zain, for tuning in. Okay, Zain, Shazwan is here. I want. Oh, Shazwan is also a baker. So if he actually wants it, you know it's good. Okay. So any more questions? So okay, before we end our live show today, so I will give the floor to Daniel to wrap it up. Probably advise us on how to stay vitalized during the Puasa. Okay, what is
Absolutely.
your advice to our viewers out there?
So basically, to summarize whatever I said just now, the most important part when you start fasting, because we're fasting not for a few days, it's not a Monday, Thursday thing, it's a one whole month fasting, so it's a little bit different. What you need to do is actually to not skip your sahur. Please make sure you wake up early in the morning to actually have at least a little bit of a glass of water and a little bit of calories. I would say at least one date is enough rather than not having anything. If you can actually prepare something that's high fiber, high protein for sahur, that will make your day become more efficient and energetic. Another thing is that you don't want to skip your exercise. Try to actually work out. Don't become dormant. That's not an excuse to skip your gym. That's where the energy comes in. Remember the analogy where you start the engine of your car and then you actually need to press the pedal to move. Yeah. And finally, when you berbuka puasa, the most important thing is that starts with a very complex fiber. Start with a low glycemic index food. That means, fruits, dates is something good. Papaya is something good. Pineapple is something good. And also, before you actually start indulging in all other goodness, berbuka puasa thing, right? And your portion is very important when you berbuka puasa. So I would say suku-suku separuh, but there's no suku-suku separuh during puasa because everybody just whack everything inside on the
Yeah.
table. But as long as you have control to it, then it's good. If you want to become energetic, if you also want to, how to say, combine fasting during Ramadan and also fasting and also intermittent fasting routine, you have to actually stop 3 hours before you go to bed. So let's say you buka puasa at 7, you eat at 8, another time at 8 p.m. and then you stop 3 hours before your bedtime. Then you actually establish and automatically establish an intermittent fasting routine. So then there will be a lot more other benefits to it. So other than that, stay hydrated, exercise, and control your portion. And that's the only key takeaways to it.
And also hydrate yourself with 100 plus less reduced sugar. Okay, so before we end our session today, I would like to remind you guys to keep updates with our posts of Ace Power Group in our Facebook, in our Instagrams, and also our Telegram, right? So with Telegram link, so that is where we always post our social media events that you can actually join, and also ask your friends to join us as well. So next week's we have Theta sessions, okay, 7.0. So this is our eighth Theta, and our speaker for next week will be Shafiq, fitness trainer who turns into full-time life planner. So what he has gonna say, what has changed his career or life since he joined us this last January. So stay tuned and come and join us for next week's Theta session event. Okay, so we have the poster now. Okay, as you can see, you actually can book your spot from your life planners, okay, that you know from Ace Power Group, or you can just visit our social media page and register your name there, okay? All right, so without any further ado, I think that's actually wraps up our session today. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you so much. Please like our social media page. Please share this link, share this video for all your friends and family. Scan this QR code on your screen right now to join all our social media platforms. Okay, so by that I say see you and happy berbuka puasa. Bye.
Kini tiba hari bahagia yang dinanti semua. Dalam bisa
maaf hilangkan duka.
Eratkan jalinan saudara.
Lebaran kan lebih bermakna. Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Idul Fitri, Syawal mulia. Hari raya disambut dengan gembira.
Kini tiba hari bahagia yang dinanti semua. Dalam desa atau di kota, kemeriahan dirasa.
Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Idul Fitri, Syawal mulia. Hari raya disambut dengan gembira. Hari raya
Ceriakan
suasana kosong-kosong, sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari raya.
bunga api warnai malam, mengukir sejuta senyuman.
Senyuman, kue-kue, ketupat dan rendang membuka selera semua. Bersama meraihkan Lebaran, Idul Fitri, Syawal mulia. Hari raya disambut dengan gembira. Hari raya ceriakan suasana kosong-kosong, sesama kita merasakan indahnya. Hari raya.
Berikan masa